What is up, guys? My name is Ben, Tiametmarduk, and today I'll be hosting you guys on the Gran Turismo channel. Today I'll be doing FIA Nations Cup around the Laguna Seca circuit in N100 cars, and I'm very much looking forward to this. If this is the first time you've seen my face, feel free to check me out on YouTube. Cheeky plug. But yeah, I've got some stiff competition to live up to. In the first round, we had Jimmy Broadbent. Second round, we had Super GT Steve Alvarez Brown. Round 3, we had David Perel, real-life racing driver. And now here we are. We've got me. What am I doing here? But anyway, we're going to have some fun today here on GT Sport. Yeah, I'm a YouTuber. I do racing game stuff. A brief little introduction into how I got started with Gran Turismo. It started actually quite late in life for me. I believe it was Gran Turismo 5. I picked up that game for the PS3, and I believe that was the game that had the Ayrton Senna DLC. I played that. I thoroughly loved it. And then I didn't come back to the franchise until we had Gran Turismo Sport. Actually, no, I think it was Gran Turismo 6 I first played. Either way, it was the one with Ayrton Senna. Anyway, I'm getting sidetracked. I got involved with PlayStation Australia. They got involved. They sent me a PS4, and I tried out the game. And from the moment I played it, I was absolutely hooked. I absolutely loved it. The handling model felt really nice and satisfying. The thing that got me the most was like the force feedback was quite nice. The cars felt nice and heavy, and you had a really good feel for the car. And yeah, ever since, I haven't really looked back, and Gran Turismo Sport has been one of my favorite games to play. And I absolutely mean that. But yeah, in today's race, we're going to be racing around the WeatherTech Raceway, Laguna Seca. We're going to go into Brand Central. I just want to show you guys the car that I'm going to be racing first. There are two choices. Well, you can pick any car within the N100 bracket, but there are two which are more popular than others. The first one is the Lancia. I believe it's the Lancia Stratos. We go down here into Italy. You go down here, Lancia. I've actually already got this car, and I've actually already done one of these races. I did this in practice. I did it in this car. It's decent over one lap, but in the race and in racing scenarios, not so good. So that's something to watch out for. Oh my goodness, no. Oh well, okay. I've stuffed that up already, guys. Let me do that again. So we're going to start off with the car that I'll be using. There's two choices, one of which is the Lancia Stratos 73. You can pick this one, but I probably wouldn't recommend it unless you're quite good at catching slides and like an oversteery car. This one is quite fast in a straight line, but it's very, very oversteery, like I mentioned. Some of the top guys on the game are using that to qualify to get a good time. But then when we get to the race itself, a lot of people are using the, I think it's the Mazda. We go in here, go to showroom, and then we go to, we got to find it over here. It's the Roadster Touring car, N200. So yeah, both of these choices that I've given you guys are both N200 cars. But you detune them, you lower the power ratio, and then it can comply with the N100 regulations. And then after that, there's some BOP, which balances things out. But that is the best car. It's really good for handling, and I think decent on tires as well, which is something we may need in this race. So we're going to register. For those of you who don't know how to get into it, you go into... okay, let's just start right from the top here. So you got the main menu here, you go into sport mode, then you go into race entry, you hit that, and then here you hit with daily races on the left hand side, which is where the majority of people will be playing from. And then in the middle here we've got Nations Cup and Manufacturer Series. Today we'll be doing the Nations Cup, and we go into race entry, and then we hit this session here, which shall be open in about 11 minutes. So we're going to do some practice first, and we're going to go from there. But yeah, this screen here is really, really useful. You've got everything you basically need to know when the lobby opens, when entry closes, how long the session is going to take to do. In the middle here, you've got the race rules. So BOP is on, all the settings are fixed. Tire wear is at 5 times normal rate of wear. So I don't think we'll need to worry about tire wear too much in this race because we're using comfort tires, which is like road tires. So I don't believe there'll be a pit stop. No, sorry, that's fuel consumption is 5 times, but tire wear is 10 times. But still, we don't need to do a pit stop. So let's go in here. Top 10 stars. This is where you can find the fastest people on the game at this particular track in these cars. And like I said, the 2 fastest cars are the Stratos and the Roadster Touring car. Like I said, the Stratos is fastest in over the course of 1 lap in the hands of TRL Adam. But the Roadster, for the most part, seems to be the car of choice. So we're going to go in and we're going to do some practice now. We're going to choose the Roadster. Let's get into that. And I'll kind of walk you guys what it takes to be fast around this track on GT Sport. Alright, so here we are in the practice lobby. We've got a little bit of time to kill before we actually get into the session proper. Just going to make sure everything is alright. This is where you can check if you've got traction control on and stuff like that. Make sure you've got the right tyres selected. In here you can change your assists as well. So I'm running manual, we're running with no traction control. Basically I'm using everything that's going to make me as fast as possible. And the general rule of thumb with Gran Turismo Sport and a lot of other racing games is turning off the assist will make you faster. It gives you more control over the vehicle. There's one exception though, and that is the ABS. On this game, you want to make sure it's left on default because it's faster to just mash down the brake pedal and not lock up. I actually did a 200 lap race around here not too long ago, and I did it without ABS. And that turned out to be 8 hours. Wasn't fun. So recommend turning on ABS. But yeah, we're going to do a few laps here. And I'm also going to take a few questions from you guys in the community while we also drive around. I also need to get a little bit more accustomed to this car once again. Because like I said, I did the race prior to this one and I was in the Lancia Stratos and I wasn't having fun. I was faster in the corners. No, I was faster in a straight line, but in the corners it wasn't so good and I was getting bullied by everyone else around the racetrack. But in this one we should have no handling issues. Braking down into turn 1. Use a lot of 3rd gear around this place. So that is something to watch out for, holding it in 2nd. With this car, it inspires a lot of confidence. You can absolutely throw this thing into corners and it'll absolutely stick. Like through here, normally in GT3 cars, Group 3 cars, you have to brake quite a bit and be quite precise through this section of the track. Make sure not to hit the sausage curbs there on the right-hand side. But here, it's an easy flat and there's no risk of hitting those just because you've got so much margin for error. 4th gear, then braking at the 2nd braking marker board. I've actually gone in a bit deep here. So this might potentially be a lap of what not to do. But one of the key things to being fast on Gran Turismo Sport is being very, very smooth. Especially with your steering. You don't want to be sliding. It's so easy to induce a slide. So just try and be, if you're on a wheel, be just so gentle with the steering. And that way you won't get any tyre squeal. Oh, absolutely revving the guts out of the car in 2nd gear as we approach the corkscrew. You can cut these corners a little bit, not too much, otherwise you'll get a penalty or a slowdown in the actual session. Through here, this is really nice when you get it right. I'm going to leave it in 3rd here for the penultimate corner. Probably should have turned in earlier there. We've taken a bit of gravel. Braking now for the final corner. You can really go in late here. Late apex. Make sure you're early on the power as well. This sets you up very nicely for the end of the lap and starting another good lap. But our previous record was a 52.5. This is our first lap on the fly. And this is a 52.8. So not too far away from my PB. And that was just from a cold start, if you will. Alright guys, so I'm going to take some questions from the community, which you guys have sent in. The first one comes in from Arkand, and they say, what is the favourite moment in your life? That's, wow, we're getting nice and deep right from the first question. It's quite hard to narrow it down to just one moment. Graduating high school would be one of them. Moving into my own house I recently moved from Australia to the United Kingdom. I did that last year. I also recently bought an Audi R8. So I'd say those 3 moments were some of the best in my life. So yeah, I mean, that's what a question to start off with. The next one we got from Miles Silver. I'm sorry about the pronunciations. I am absolutely horrific with those. What are things about the Gran Turismo game that make it one of your favorite racing games? I think the emphasis on competition, about sportsmanship, is something I really like. I really do enjoy the handling model. For me, one of the most important factors about having a fun racing game is having a handling model that is nice and intuitive, confidence inspiring, and it's just overall fun to drive. You know you're having fun, or you know you've got a good game when you just want to turn laps and laps and laps, and Gran Turismo Sport is definitely one of those games that has me coming back for more. I just play this game, and I don't always make videos on it. I have quite a bit this year, but I do find myself in my spare time just doing races, and that's always a good indicator of a fun game. Here we go, this second lap. I've been chatting away to you guys, and this one has been absolutely fire. I'm going to have to make sure that I sign up for the race in a minute. I believe the lobby will be open. Next question, Douglas Santos. What is your favorite car and track combo? You know what? I actually really like this track, Laguna Seca. It really separates the men from the boys because of all the gravel traps. It's got a lot of character. The sausage curbs in the first sector. We've got the corkscrew, which we just went through here. This corner as well can catch out drivers. So I like the tracks that are kind of old school, that can catch people out. Like Suzuka is another one that's really, really good. But yeah, I'd say Laguna Seca in Group 3 cars is an amazing combination, as I absolutely bottle it out of the final corner. We're going to be losing a lot of time to our Delta, but it is encouraging to see that the pace is there. We come across the line, and that is a 51.9. That could have easily been a mid-51 if I would have hooked that all up together. We're going to exit now, and we're going to go back to the menu, and we're going to sign up for this race. I do not want to miss out. That's the bad thing about Nations Cup races, is you only have a limited time to do it. It's only available for 1 day. Oh, it's not even open yet. What am I stressing about? Let's see. Who is this next question in from? Nigello92. What is my favorite car in GT Sports? I like the Toyota Supra Group 3. Absolutely stunning looking car. And there's a lot of liveries available for it as well. I think the Group 3 cars are the best ones on the game for sure. Provide the best racing as well. So the next one comes in from Kuta YV2, and he says, what is your most unforgettable moment in Gran Turismo? I think for me, I did mention it already, but the 200 laps of Laguna Seca with Steve, really silly moment for me is I switched off ABS and I had to do the whole race without ABS, and I was locking up at just about every heavy braking zone. I recently upgraded my pedal set as well to a load cell, and so that was just compounding the problem. And so, yeah, that was a long old day, that one. Next question. This one comes in from Osiris Sesma. How do you improve lap times if you feel like you've hit a wall and you can't improve anymore? Oh, that's a good one. I feel like if you're getting frustrated, if you've hit that wall, the best thing you can do is actually take a break. Maybe get a sip of water, go for a walk outside or something, get some exercise, come back with a fresh mind, and then approach it again. Because sometimes when you're grinding a particular car and track combo, you find that you start overdriving the car, you might fall into some bad habits. Have a reset and a refresh, and I feel like you'll find gains that you weren't really finding before. That's probably the most important thing I would say. Next question, and this one is from Mario Laland, and he says, what's the one car you'd love to see added to the game? For me, I would love to see a Nissan 370Z added to the game, both as a road-going car, but also as a Group 3 car. I feel like that'd be absolutely fantastic. I used to own one, so That's probably the bias in me coming through. Next question, we have Sammy. Preferred practice method for races. Normally it would be time trial or any kind of practice mode where you can race up against a ghost. Whether it be yourself or a top player on the game. Having that direct comparison, that ghost car, is probably the most important thing you can have in a racing game. Because you can trial different things through different corners. You can try and short shift. You can try smoother steering. You can try, I don't know, just taking different lines. And you can have a direct comparison and see what works and what doesn't. And I feel like that is the fastest way and the best way to practice for races. So yeah, another alternative if you want to actually practice for races and practice for strategy, go into open lobbies with a community. Try and set up the settings to be exactly the same as what they might be in, say, like an FIA race. And yeah, you'll pretty much get a direct comparison as to what you're supposed to be practicing for. Next question we have from Brona Flo. What car do you have the most connection with in GT Sport? Has to be the Audi R8. I have the exact car. It's right below me right now in my garage. And I've actually got it in the game as well. And I made sure the specification was exactly the same as my road car. It's Ibis white with carbon Sigma side blades. And I think it's the same year as well, which is absolutely crazy. And I went into photo mode and I actually fooled a couple of people into thinking that I took my car into the Cotswolds. But what I actually did was I went into Scapes mode in GT Sport and I fooled some people. So that was pretty funny. But yeah, it has to be the R8 for sure. Next question we have from Sliv Gorthia. And he says, how long did you train for this race? So I did a little bit of practice last night. I probably did about 3 or 4 laps. And then I did one race prior to this. So that would have been about an hour and a half's worth of practice. I feel like half an hour to an hour is a good amount of practice for any kind of daily race or FIA race. With that amount of time, you should have a pretty good feel for the game. And especially if you already do a race, then you should have a good feel for not only the car, the tyre wear, the strategy, everything you need to have the tools to get the job done. You've got 50 seconds to wait until we get there. But yeah, 49.9 up against our friends. Key 25, we're about a second away from him. He is right up there. He normally challenges inside the top 10 for the top 10 stars. And then TRL Adam is actually the top of the leaderboard. So 2.3 seconds away, that sounds like a lot, but these are like esports level guys that we're talking about here. And I'm just little old Benjamin Daly. But yeah, I'm happy with my time. I feel like we should be pretty competitive with that. My expectations heading into this race is, well, 1, to finish. I would love like a top 5, but I don't know, it depends where I qualify. I may need to settle for something maybe more realistic like a top 10. I am, like I said, a little bit rusty, but we shall see how we go. Nervous times. I always get quite nervous before these FIA races. But the good thing about these is, even if you do stuff up your race, you can always have another go. So if you want to risk it, say if you've got good points, you want to bank those, don't do another race. But if you've had a shocker, you can come back and do it again to attempt and get more points. So that's always a positive. Here we go. We're going to join the session now. We are rank number 7 in this one. I did one race previously, like I mentioned. I got 41 points in that. I finished last. I finished P19 out of 19. But in my defense, I got taken out. So there we go. But in this one, I'm a little bit lower rated. In that first one, I was like 3rd ranked. So in this, there's a little less pressure for me to perform. We should be, in theory, up against some slightly slower drivers. But you never know. Everybody opting for the Roadster. So that says to me it is the best car of the bunch that you can pick. And some of these guys have a good swing of points as well. So we're going to have our hands full trying to be competitive in this one. Alright, Here we go. We are in the lobby. One final check of the car settings. Yep. Soft tires. Traction control is off. We're running manual. Let's check ABS. That is on default. Okay, we can head out there. I just want to hit this home again. If you've never done FIA races, I really do recommend them. They're a lot of fun. Normally they're a little bit longer. They involve a bit of strategy. And I really, really enjoy the longer races on Gran Turismo Sport, where you've got to think about the fuel, where you've got to think about the tyres. It's a little bit more serious, but at the same time, you're still racing against the same people that you would race in your daily races. So there's nothing at all that's too daunting about it. It's, at the end of the day, it is all just for a bit of fun. Competitive, but also clean and fair racing. So we've got a minute's worth of warm-up. We're going to get a bit of a feeler of what the pace is like for everybody else. In this qualifying session, we're going to be doing some slipstreaming. This is something that some of the high-profile drivers do. The slipstream is relatively strong on Gran Turismo Sport, so if you can get the tow from the car ahead, you'll be getting higher top speed, and it just makes life that little bit easier. So hopefully we can get pulled along by someone who is quite a bit faster than us, and we can have a slightly elevated starting position for the race. But these guys, they're no slouches. We're not really flying past them. So, yeah, we're relatively even on pace. Heading into the corkscrew. I don't imagine that this is going to end too well, and it doesn't. I've done the ramming there, so I'll have to reach out to Steve and see if I can join R4M. I'm on the right game for it. But there we go, that is the end of warm-up. Someone in the bottom left saying Stratos is the best car. I concur. I tested that. It wasn't that good for race pace. But here we go. Qualifying. 6 minutes. We are going to go out straight away. Alright, so here we go then. We are ready for qualifying. Quite crucial to remember that you're running with a full amount of fuel in quali. So what the big boys do is they tend to burn off quite a bit of fuel here, and I think that's what we might endeavour to do. A few people jockeying for position, others wanting to break away from the pack. Some people just want to chill in behind and get some slipstream. We've got to play our cards right here and pick the right person to follow. I'm assuming the person with the lowest number next to their national flag would be a good shout. This guy is number 11. But the guy in P4 up there, he looks like a low number. So let's hopefully catch up to him if we can. So limited amount of time to get some laps in. We'll probably get 2 in here. If this was a high tire deg race, some people opt to pit at the end of this first lap, change the tires, and then have one flying lap at the end when the track and car is at its fastest. What's going on here? Who do we want to follow on our qualifying lap? It's very tense times. I might follow the Spaniard through, actually. Oh, no, we're getting racy on the qualifying lap then. Okay, I'll just settle in behind. Let's leave a little bit of space. Oh, he's actually shot off the circuit. This is, oh dear, this is very, very awkward. Let's just fly past. Okay, off we go. Do we want to play around with the brake bias? It's on 2 to the rear, help for that rotation around the corners. And the Stratos, if you're deciding to run with that, you want to have the brake bias all the way to the front to reduce the oversteer, which that car has. Turning on the radar to make sure we keep the guys behind in check. We know what they're doing. We've got about a second's gap to the car in front. That's probably the sweet spot, to be honest. Slipstream normally kicks in anywhere from 1.7 seconds ahead, so we should be getting some benefit. But at the same time, if we're on a good lap, we hopefully won't get spoiled by the driver in front going slowly. If anything, we're going to be the person in front doing the spoiling. So let's make sure we can make the most of this into the left-hander. On the power nice and early. Pretty good rotation there. We have used up all of the track and more there. Not the best momentum out of there, but we will probably have another lap at this after this one. Like I said, I did a 49.9 in my practice session, so I would love to get somewhere near that. However, we are running with a bit of fuel on board. This guy literally pushing me into the corkscrew. Nice and late under brakes. The car was screaming. P3 has run wide through there, so he's going to have to abandon his lap. Make sure not to corner cut the corkscrew, otherwise that'll give you a slowdown penalty. I'm not really good at that corner. And we're compromised into the final one. That is not very nice. Oh, I've been hit. Oh, we're racing here, boys. We're racing on the qualifying session. Okay. Oh dear, what are we doing here? Oh, this makes me so nervous. A 53.2, and we're in a massive train of cars. We're gonna go tumbling down the order. Let's just keep it sensible here, guys. Hanging around the outside. The race doesn't start yet, guys. Right, okay, we've cleared those two. Hopefully this should mean life is a little bit easier for us. Throw it in through here. Really nice run. And now we'll be getting the benefit from the car ahead. Don't turn in too much. Don't scrub the front tyres. And look at the momentum it gives us. Using that slipstream to good effect. We'll take the inside. Nice little move there. This is a preview of what you guys are going to see for the race. So, yeah, let's hopefully improve by a couple more tenths. I want to be around the top 5 to start this race. Qualifying is so important in Gran Turismo, especially FIA races where the field is so close. And you just want to get yourself away from the mid-pack where all the trouble usually happens. Into the corkscrew again. Really attack that. I've probably taken a little bit too much curb. Hopefully I'm okay though. 1.5 tenths down. However, the end of the lap on our last one wasn't that good, so we should be able to improve. Just a little dab of the brake there. Help get the front end turned in. And now we're going to brake for the final corner. Nice and late. Late apex. Full brake pressure. Early on the power to finish off the lap well. People are in the 51s now. And up to the line. We will get a little bit of slipstream from the car ahead. What is the time? It is a 1:51.9. It puts us in the top 5, exactly where we need to be. And now it's just a waiting game to see what the other guys do. Still P5. It's exactly where you want to be. What's the first sector like? 7 tenths up. Oh, ladies and gentlemen, we are looking good for this qualifying session. If we can catch up to the Spaniard ahead, that'd be absolutely golden for us. I'm going to leave it in 3rd. Keep the revs going. Keep up that momentum. I swear, like literally 90% of this race, this lap, is spent in 3rd gear. Still in P3. If we can get this time in, log out because this is going to be a good one. Oh, we touched the sausage curb there, which is exactly what you don't want to do. However, we're still on target for a good lap. Into the corkscrew again. A little less of a bonsai run this time. I think this is a better exit. Still 7 tenths up. Exactly where we want to be. Attacking the curb there. I feel like if you're really risky, you could probably put the inside tyre over the top or inside of the red sausage curb. But that requires a lot of accuracy, a lot of confidence. Final corner. This is going to be a great lap. We're going to get the toe all the way up to the line here. 40 seconds remaining. And this could put us in a good shout of being at the front. Up to the line. P3, P4. Okay. That's what we want to see. And a good margin to P5 as well. So a solid 4 tenths there. It might be difficult for some drivers to fill that. But that is, wow, that is a great starting position for this race. We're only 4 tenths away from, you know, pole. I didn't think I was any good at this game anymore. I've had a little bit of a hiatus, but it's good to be back on Gran Turismo Sport. Whew. Session over. It is P4. I am absolutely thrilled with that. $51.1. The race is going to start in 60 seconds. Sometimes if you want to change the starting compound for the race, which we can't do in this one, this is how you do it. So if you wanted to start on mediums, for example, that's how you'd do that. But this is a pretty straightforward race. P4. Surviving the first corner is absolutely imperative. So we'll try to do that if we can. Let me know where you guys think I'm going to finish for this race. I'm now going to change my expectations and hope that we're going to get on the podium. Got to calm myself down now. The best thing you can do in a race scenario is to stay calm. There's you don't want to get too excited, you don't want to get too angry or anything, you don't want to start overdriving. Just being nice and chilled out is the way to go. Here we are for the intro. I always, when I see these intros, I always think of Super GT's videos. The meme intros always gets me in the mood for a race on Gran Turismo. P4 on the grid. This is where the nerves start to build again. The anticipation, the hype to get ready for the race, and that is at hand. We're up next. P4 on the grid. Let's do a bit of showboating for everyone. Weave the wheel, there we go. Tiametmarduk means business. I'm actually representing the United Kingdom. I did have an Australian account on Gran Turismo, but because I moved to the UK, I had to start again. And so I always... Should I sabotage my... No, in a way. I feel like I should sabotage myself to not betray Australia. But we're going to fly the flag for the United Kingdom. It's where I'm living anyway, so it's technically the motherland to Australia, so we will look to do the Commonwealth proud. Alright, running through the grid. Like I said, literally every single car is a Mazda Roadster Touring car. Absolutely equal cars. Setups are all the same. So you'd expect the margins would be pretty darn close. Rounding out to the back of the grid, you can start to see, you know, everybody's liveries. I, for this race, haven't done a livery, but that's one of my favorite things to do, is to trawl into the community pages and see what you can use. But we are ready to go. Turn 1 is going to be so important. Holding the inside, making sure you don't get punted off, and just being ruthless. So, we shall see. Let's check the fuel. I haven't done a race in this car yet, so I don't know if this car is going to be harder or easier on its tyres and fuel relative to the Lancia Stratos. But I'd imagine that we'd be okay. Here we go. Make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to see plenty more of stuff like this. And away we go for FIA Nations Laguna Seca. It's been a good start. We're in the slipstream of the car in front. Let's hopefully... Now it's a challenge. My heart is beating. So nervous for the start of these races. We're going to go late on the brakes. Excuse me while I just concentrate for these first couple of corners. Fuel looks like it's going to be absolutely fine, so we can move over to the radar and keep an eye on where everyone is. The most important part now that we've survived is staying in the slipstream of the train ahead and doing everything in our power to break away from those behind. Make sure that they don't get slipstream because it is so powerful. Leaving it in third gear. Let's get involved with these guys. And I would hope that, because of my lack of experience, the more laps that I do in this race, hopefully I'll just get faster and faster, and I might be a threat for, who knows, maybe even the win. But I won't get it ahead of myself just yet. We'll take the humble approach, I guess. It's running uphill. It takes an absolute age in these cars. Very underpowered. So that's why slipstream is even more important. To make sure we can get that extra helping hand up the straight. Corkscrew was fine, no cuts there. Those guys running out wide. It's not a good omen for them. And we haven't even seen the effects of tyre wear come in yet. Nice and late under brakes. Probably a bit too late there. Scrub the steering a little bit, that's not great. But we're on the power nice and early. Pace looks good, guys. Despite live commentating, which is actually really, really hard to do, we're still managing to keep pace with these guys. So I'm going to do my best to, A, entertain you guys, but B, try and win this race if we can. Everything line astern so far. These guys are nice and consistent. Oh, I say that. Oh, and I've had a little bit of moment there. You do not want to be touching the gravel on the outside. That is a one-way trip to the Shadow Realm. Man, this is really sweaty. I have to really concentrate. I have to be absolutely on it to stay with these guys. Leader has made a mistake. I've made a mistake there by touching the sausage curb. He's made a bigger one. My goodness, the mistakes are coming out this lap, aren't they? Yes, that was a good corkscrew for us. And now these guys are starting to squabble. So this is where the decisive moment of the race lies. How we negotiate this traffic. Always got to stay nice and calm in these scenarios. Even if you get a bump or two from your rival, it's a long race. You've got to remember that. Don't get caught up in unnecessary crashes. Got an overlap here. We have the inside. Let's try and pinch that slipstream off the cars ahead. That is purple for us, which is exactly what you want to see. Nice and smooth. You don't want to turn in too fast into this corner. That's a common mistake. That's when the rear end starts sliding out. So nice and slow and smooth on the inputs. And you should be a pretty fast boy because of that. Nice exit for us. We're doing everything we need to do so far. Ooh. Bit hairy there. I could go for the inside here, but I'm going to be patient. Try and get a nice exit. One thing you can do in this game as well is bump draft. If you want to cooperate with, say, the race leader and pull away from those behinds, and you don't really want to overtake and slow down, you can bump draft, and you should be able to get away with that. It just makes the leader go a little bit faster. You're getting the benefit of slipstream, and everybody's winning. One eye in front of me, one eye on the radar. Make sure we don't get savagely lunged. I can hear the car behind me. That's very, very ominous. You've always got that thought in the back of your mind, oh, is this guy going to outbrake himself and take me out? But you just got to trust that it'll all be okay. The race leader has been quite kind to us here. He's given me the slipstream. He's moved over to the inside. Thank you very much for that. P2. This is all unfolding very nicely for us so far. What I might do is move the brake bias down one click towards the front. As the rear tyres start to wear out, that's something you'll need to adjust so that the rear end doesn't start sliding too much. Looks like the fronts are wearing out more so at this stage. And we're continuing to go purple, which is all what you want to see. I can't believe I'm fighting for the lead. I didn't think that I'd be in this scenario. So now, this is where we look after the car, look after the tyres, make sure we don't slide around too much. The less sliding we can do, the better shape we'll be in later on in the race with tyre wear, the more we'll have to fight with. It seems I'm doing an okay job of looking after those so far. Like, look at the race leader sliding into the final corner, almost touching the gravel there on the exit. We could even go for a move up here into turn 1, if we so wish. I'm not too sure how I'm going to play it, to be honest. Another fastest lap of the race. Where has this come from? A little bit slidey through there. I might even move the brake bias forward another click, if that becomes more of an issue. But guys, I was genuinely worried that I was going to be a backmarker and that this was going to be a bad stream for you guys. But here we are, fighting away at the front of the field. Love and life. Nearly halfway into this race. It's absolutely flying so far. Quite late under brakes there. Still early on the power though, which is what we want to see. He's not really holding us up. He's just bringing us along for the ride. If he makes a mistake, we'll obviously strike on that. I got a little bit of the car into the gravel there. That was not fun. Wow. That's another thing as well, guys. Try not to go through the gravel trap or the grass, because then your tyres will be a bit dirty. You'll have less grip for a few corners. Hopefully that isn't the case for us here. I need to get my head down again. Oh yeah. Nice and late under brakes there. Made up a bit of time, I think. Looks like we're about to be overtaken again. I'm just hoping to get some slipstream from the race leader. Oh no! Oh, third place is backed off. Okay. Fair play. I thought he was going to send it there. He's playing it tactical. Good stuff. Everybody wins. Everybody gets to fight another day. We're going purple again. So, right as I thought I was on the depths of defeat, we are on the pace again. Just a roller coaster this race. Halfway through now. I'm doing the key 25. You watch his live streams, he leans into the corners. Gives you an extra couple of tenths per lap. You heard it here first. Let me know what you guys play on at home. Do you have a wheel? Do you have a controller? If so, what are you using? Alright, this is getting intense. I'm starting to build up a sweat. We are breaking away from the cars behind, which is exactly what we want. That was nice. Still trying to be nice and smooth on the steering. He's a bit wayward through that final corner. We could go for the lead here. I think we will. We're going to lick the stamp and send it. Fastest lap? Yes, 49.8. That's faster than my qualifying or my practice times. Okay, we're going to go to the outside. Late on the brakes. We're both sliding. Oh, it's intense. It's really intense. I'm not gonna be silly here. I don't want to lose too much time, so I'm just gonna move back to the racing line. He does the same, and we will continue this later. Don't go defensive. Don't go defensive. Yes, nice and smart. Look at this. We're fighting and still pulling away. Look at this. He's going to have to back out here. There we go. Lead of the race. 5 to go. Now we're going to see what it's like in clean air. Ooh, very deep on the brakes. Woo. Was very scary. We've still got track position. We've still got a clean record. Nice little dab of the brakes. With the front nose pointed in. Please don't dive me into the final corner. Whatever you do. Last one. Try and hold the brake a little bit up to the apex. Help that rotation. You don't want to be sliding into these low speed corners. It's the last thing you want. That was actually a really nice exit for us. 51.4. Do I want to defend this? Not really. He's there on the inside. It's side by side. This is amazing. This is really good racing. This is one of the best races I'm having so far in GT Sport. You guys are watching it, and you guys are like experiencing it with me. Take a breather. Relax. Don't get so tense. Just relax. I don't know why I'm doing that. I don't normally do that. I'm not weird. And that lack of concentration is just... Look at that. We've stuffed up our exit. We're getting touched. And he's going to tuck in. Thank goodness for that. Man, I am very scared. I hope you guys are enjoying this. I'm enjoying this, but I'm also very much not. There's so much pressure right now. I apologize if I'm not talking as much as what I normally would, but this is... The on-track battles are pretty much doing all the talking for us. This is absolutely crazy. A bit of understeer there. That is not what I wanted. Ooh. Not great through there. Absolutely horrible. Oh dear, sorry. Checking my stream. Checking it's still fine. We are. What's not fine is my prospects in this race. You guys think we can fight back and get the lead again? I hope so. We're all very evenly matched on pace here. The guy who's in second place is best poised to win with the slipstream. It's just very, very hard to defend. You need to be getting like rocket ship exits in order to really do anything about the car behind. brakes there for me. Nice and early on the power. It's really amazing in these cars how early you can plant the throttle. You just got to have the confidence and belief that the car can do it. That'll just come with practice. I'm going to send it here, I think. No, I'll tuck him behind. It was last of the late breakers. Fair play. That was very, very close to a corner cut. Please don't get me there. Oh, looks like he's got a penalty. Ooh. That is unlucky. If anything, I felt like I cut it more than what he did. So I was quite fortunate there. P4 has a penalty too. So when we get to the penalty marker on the next lap, it'll slow him down a little bit, but he'll pretty much be where he is in relative to me, but just behind me, if that makes sense. Didn't carry a lot of speed in there, but I got a decent exit. This might actually be closest to whether he keeps the lead or not. There's the slowdown. We're going to move to the inside. Compromised run. Please just push me up the hill. I would appreciate that. Okay. Ooh, I'm getting quite nervous now. This is where the games are going to start to be played. Who wants track position? Who wants to be the car in second? I'm not too sure what I prefer, to be honest. Nice and late on the brakes. Don't cut that. This guy's all over my gearbox. And we've left the other podium getters for dead. Oh man, I'm so nervous. Alright. He's got a nice run here. I'm going to let him go. Actually losing my voice as well. This is crazy. I'm not going to fight this too hard. I'm just going to tuck in behind. I've still got the fastest lap somehow. I'm very happy with that. I just feel so much more confident when I'm the car behind. Oh, he's a little bit wayward there. Again, he's making these tiny little errors. He seems to be getting away with it. I feel like, if anything, we've been more consistent than what he has. He probably has more raw pace. He's just had to deal with being the car in front most of the race, pulling everyone else along. Running out quite wide there. I'm not too sure that that really gains you time, to be honest. Using a lot of engine braking there. Bit of curb on entry and on exit. Heading on to the last lap now. Can we do it, guys? Can we get the victory? We've got to throw the kitchen sink at it now. Whatever pace we've got left in the tyres, use it now. Fuel, I believe, is not an issue. We will check that though. Geez, that'd be embarrassing if we're meant to be saving fuel this race, but no, we're fine. P2 should be the minimum this race. We're still going to gun for the victory. 50.6. Here we go, lads. Come on. Purple. Giving it everything this lap. We're 7 seconds clear of the car behind. Wow. A little bit of screeching there. No, that's not a great exit. He's pulling away. He's pulling away. That's not what I need. That was a very crucial corner as well. This helps you all the way up the hill. He's run out wide again. We're going to have to hope for a mega run through the corkscrew. A little bit of lag there. On the power nice and early. Come on, Ben. Oh, we've hit that sausage curb. Penultimate corner. Do we go for a last corner punt? No, I wouldn't dare. We are going to go nice and late, though. Probably give him a little bit of a scare, but no, that is going to be the race. Well done. Well done. That was an amazing race. Fair play to Erbis Gorox for the victory. It's going to be P2 for us. Oh, he's actually got the fastest lap as well, so he did have a bit of pace in the locker at the end there, and he just, well, he's too fast for us. P2. If you would have asked me at the start of the stream, if you would have told me I'd finish P2, I would absolutely take that. Because like I said, I was just hoping to be competitive. And I felt like we were more than that. That was an absolutely awesome race. P4 to P2. The qualifying was really good. We set the fastest lap. We had the pace early on. But then Urbis there, he just really kicked it up a gear at the end. And was the deserving winner. That was great fun. And that is exactly what FIA Nations Cup can be like. Especially in the higher rated lobbies. But don't worry, like, you don't have to be ultra fast at the game or anything. You can be a lower rated driver and still get into these lobbies. And it is all just about having fun, just having a bit of a go. And, you know, that's what it's all about. But I need a lie down after that. I need a sleep. That was very, very intense. We get 152 points for that. Getting P2. Obviously, if you're in a higher split, you'll get even more points. But I am very, very happy with that. We were the number 7 rated driver in the lobby, so we definitely outperformed our theoretical position. Some nice bonuses there. Prize money, mileage points, boost in driver rating, and sportsmanship rating, which is what you love to see. Fastest lap was 49.8 from us. Only a tenth away from what the race winner did there, which is, yeah, not too bad. Whew. What a race. What a race. I am literally sweating. Who says that sim racing isn't real? Like, all the emotions that you go through are real, the practice, the preparation, the emotion, it's all very much real, even if it is on a game. But that's it from me, guys, today. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe to the channel if you're new to see plenty more stuff like this. Hopefully this isn't the last time you see my face around these parts here on Gran Turismo. And, yeah, hopefully you enjoyed. Until the next one, guys, I'll see you next time.